we're going to talk a little about counterexamples. And this seems fairly straightforward, but sometimes it's not. So be careful to not just accept a statement as true. Think about it, okay? I have some basic ones here. I'll be giving you some more possibly tricky ones potentially on homework assignments. So just be careful that you're not missing something obvious, okay? So our first example is, given that angle DEF and angle FEG form a linear pair, then the conjecture is, remember this is an educated guess, the educated guess is that angle DEF is congruent to angle FEG. So the truth value of this, is this true or false? Well, let's think about it. Okay, we can turn this into an if-then statement. If angle DEF and angle FEG form a linear pair, then angle DEF is congruent to angle FEG. Well, is that going to be true or false? Let's think about a counterexample here. So if we have, they form a linear pair, so I'm just going to draw something that would work to satisfy that. Okay, so let's say that this, okay, so this would be all rays, and here's a point, and here's a point, and here's a point, and here's a point. So let's say that this is DEF and FEG. Okay. Now, the diagram that I have drawn is showing that angle DEF and FEG form a linear pair. And so, and just in case you're not seeing that, it's okay. Here is angle DEF, okay? And angle DEF is right here. So it is this angle, angle DEF. Okay, everybody see that? DEF. And angle FEG, and so I'll do that in red, so angle FEG, and that's going to be this angle right here. Okay, so angle FEG and angle DEF form a linear pair. So the given is satisfied, and remember, the given is assumed to be true, so we're not questioning this, and so we construct it so that the given is true. So this is true, it's satisfying the given. Now, the conjecture is that the two angles are congruent. Well, is that the case here? No. By no means are these congruent. This angle, DEF, is clearly bigger. Okay? So angle DEF is clearly bigger. Okay? It's clearly bigger. This angle right there, the blue angle, okay, than the red angle FEG. So in fact, our conjecture is false. Okay, it is false. This is false, and here's a counterexample to disprove it. Now remember, we only need one counterexample and we are good to go. Okay, we don't have to waste any time looking up any more. We just need one. This is a shout out to my students last year, so maybe you can ask one of your friends to tell you about Forgetful Francis. So given that Forgetful Francis is sick, the conjecture is that Forgetful Francis has a fever. Okay, so notice this is what we are given. This is the only thing we know for sure. Forgetful Francis is sick. So then we assume, okay, well then Forgetful Francis must have a fever. Is this true or false? Okay, well what about a counterexample? Okay, well what if Forgetful Francis has an illness that doesn't have fevers? Like, here's an example. What about a stomach ache? You can have a stomach ache, you can have an upset stomach and not have a fever, right? So you're sick, but you don't have a fever. So this is false, and here's a counterexample that disproves it. A couple of other examples here. Given a piece of furniture has 4 legs, then the conjecture is it's a chair. So remember, we know this. This is absolutely true. So it's a piece of furniture, it has 4 legs, and then we say, okay, well, we're assuming it's a chair. Is that true or false? Well, it's false. What about a table? A 4-legged table. There's a counterexample. Last one here. Every quadrilateral has at least 2 congruent sides, which I've rewritten this here as an if-then conditional. If it's a quadrilateral, then it has at least 2 congruent sides. True or false? It has to have at least 2 sides that are the same. What if I drew a quadrilateral like this? This is 1 centimeter. This is, I don't know, 4 centimeters. This one is 9 centimeters. And then this one is going to be 8.5 centimeters. So this is 1, this was 4, this was 9, and this was 8.3 basically centimeters. I have drawn a quadrilateral. Remember, quadrilateral means it has 4 sides. So this has 4 sides, so it's a quadrilateral, but it does not have 2 congruent sides. So this is false, and here's a counterexample.